Welcome to the African Methodist Episcopal Historical Reflection, or as we call it in Tri-City, AME Moments. We are members of a denomination that has a rich, deep history. Our history shows us how to stand in the face of adversity and to be the overcomers that God has called us to be. This is the story of the African Methodist Episcopal Church and how it was born. In November of 1787, in the St. George Methodist Episcopal Church, which was located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, and some others were in the midst of praying and seeking the face of God when they were interrupted and told to go to the gallery. Now, for us, the gallery would be our balconies that we have in some of our churches today. I guess they didn't move fast enough, didn't cut off their prayers, but they were then by the people who gave them the order to go to the gallery, they were literally pulled up from their knees while praying. The people that pulled them up were slave owners, and they just said, "Get to the gallery." Now that wouldn't sit well with you or I either if it happened to us, because it happened during a worship service. So what Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, and the others did, as they finished their prayers, they didn't go to the gallery. They went straight out the door. Their desire was to form an organization that would allow them to have that freedom to worship without color or race barriers, freedom from segregation, and any other types of restrictions that were placed upon them, that would give them the freedom to better instruct their people and to aid the less fortunate the way that they desired. Now, the name of this organization was the Free African Society. And this organization was used to assist those who were looking for jobs, who needed food, or who had other family issues or concerns that they need to have help in getting those taken care of. Now, whenever God is getting ready to do a great thing, a new thing, opposition has to arise. And the opposition for Richard Allen and the rest of the group came from the parent church. And this went on until 1791. At this time, they were looking to become an independent organization, and that opposition that came about was that the parent church wanted their money, they wanted the property that Richard Allen owned, and they wanted anything that they could get from them. They were greedy people. Now, what they did see was that Richard Allen and his group were not going to stop. They were committed in their cause to become independent of the parent church. So what they said they would do was they would send them pastors who would preach for them. Now, the pastors that they sent to preach were very subpar pastors. Some of them wouldn't even show up. Some of them couldn't preach, and some of them at times wouldn't even preach. So what this did was gave the church another opportunity to begin to do what they needed to do. And so what they did was they petitioned the courts to allow them to become independent of the parent church. And this persecution, this opposition went on until 1791. And at that time is when the Supreme Court rendered a decision which allowed them to be free from the parent church. Now, the church or the organization that was being started goes by the name of Bethel Church, or Mother Bethel, which was started in 1791. And that church was started with Richard Allen as the pastor. And it wasn't until 29 years later that the group became an organized denomination. Now, that time period was around 1816 when they had their first general conference, and the church was formally formed right then. This is also when Richard Allen was ordained as the bishop. This movement, which started with a fight for equality and the freedom to serve God, now gives way to 3.5 million members, over 3,800 pastors, and over 7,000 plus congregations. Join us next time as we look at the four great leaders of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. They're called the Four Horsemen.